Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is the 33rd tutorial in this course, and in this tutorial we are going to talk about date and time functions. And there are a lot of interesting date and time functions in Python, and there are so many modules that you can import, and you can use the methods in those modules. But since we have a time constraint, I'm not going to talk about all the date and time functions. I'm just going to talk about the most interesting ones, and the ones that I find most useful. So the first method that we're going to check out is called the time method, and this method requires a module of the same name, which is time, right? So I'll import the module first by typing in import space time, and this method returns the timestamp of the current time, right? So it returns the current timestamp that is, and the timestamp is the number of seconds that have elapsed between January 1, 1970, 12 a.m. and the current time, right? So if I call this function, I have to type in time.time. The first time is the name of the module, the second time is the name of the function, and empty parentheses, and there you go. This is the current timestamp 139.359.8815 and something, right? So this number is extremely useful. Using this number you could pull out so many values like the year, the day, the the time, number of hours, number of minutes, number of seconds, so many things. And the beauty of working with timestamps is that each second has a different timestamp, right? So if I would execute this function again, I would get a different value, and that's because more seconds have elapsed and the timestamp has changed, right? So to convert this number into something more readable, something that we can work with, I'll use the local time function of the time module, and as an argument to this I'll pass the current timestamp, right? So when I do that, I see that the year is 2014, the month is 2, which is February, the day of the month is 28, and then the time right now is 20:17:48, which is 8 p.m. 8:17 p.m. and 48 seconds have elapsed. And this is the 4th day of the week. So by default Monday has the index 0, right? So Monday is 0, Tuesday is 1, and Wednesday is 2, Thursday is 3, and Friday is 4. And today is Friday, that's why I see the value 4 here. And it's also the 59th day of the year, and in my country daylight saving is not used, so that's why I see the value 0 here, right? So we get this 9-item tuple when we execute the local time function. And if we want to get even more useful information, or even more comprehensible information, then we can use the ASC time function, right? And again, that function requires a time module. I'll type in ASC time and a set of parentheses, and when I do that, I see the same values, but as a string firstly. So I don't get a tuple this time, I get a string, and it's much more pleasant to the eyes. So the day is Friday, and it's February 28th, and the time is 20:18:49, and the year is 2014, right? So this is much cooler. And the next method that we're going to check out is the make time function. It's called make time, but it's actually mk time, right? And this function works with this kind of a tuple, and it returns a timestamp. So let's say we want a timestamp for not the current date or the current time. We want a timestamp for some day that has passed, or some day that is going to happen like 20 years later, right? So to do something of that sort, the first thing that we'll do is we'll create a tuple, and I'm going to call this tuple my tuple, and I'll use parentheses to create it, of course. And let's say I want to work with the year 1993 and April. So the second argument is the month number, and that's why I'll type in 4 here if we have to work with April. And let's say I want to see the timestamp for 6th April, so I'll type in 6 as the third argument. And let's say the time for which I want to see the timestamp is 3:23 p.m. and 15 seconds, so I'll type in 15 here for 3, and we're working with the 24-hour format, just to clarify things, and then 23 minutes and 15 seconds. And let's say I don't have any information about what day of the week that is, or what day of the year that is, or let's just put 0 as the daylight saving value, and when I press the enter key, the tuple is created. Now if I want to see the timestamp of this date, all I have to do is type in time.mk time, and then pass in this tuple as an argument to the function. and there you go, I see the timestamp value. And again, I can use the time.localTime method to make more sense out of this tuple. Like for instance, these are missing values at the moment, the 0 here and the 0 here. We don't know what these values are, but if I pass this timestamp to the local time function, then I can find out, right? So I'll do that by typing time.localTime and then time.mktime and the name of the tuple as an argument, right? So when I press the enter key, I see that this day happens to be the first day of the week, so that's Tuesday, and it also happens to be the 96th day of the year. So 6th April 1993, and we see the time also, that's 3:23 p.m. and 15 seconds. So we get this information, and we can pull out individual items out of this tuple in case you want just parts of this date, and there's so much you can do, right? So we're going to check out some more interesting date and time functions in the next tutorial. I hope you guys like this tutorial, and you may subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care.